Keeping track of the build-up to the November 6th governorship election in Anambra State, we will be talking to Accord Party's candidate, Dr. Godwin Maduka, on how insecurity and the threat of a state of emergency is shaping the campaigns. Welcome, Dr. Maduka, to the morning show. Good morning. Good morning, Dr. Maduka.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good to have you. Tell us, Doctor, it's less than 1 week. Next Saturday is the election. But you know that everybody is talking about will this election hold or not, given the state of insecurity, not only in Anambra, but in, largely in the entire Southeast. We know that the Inspector General of Police and the entire, to use the common word, security architecture, they've been assuring that, yes, the elections will hold. But do you think that if that happens, how free and fair will it be, given the huge number of security personnel that will be sent to Anambra State on Saturday? What's your own personal view on what to expect?
Thank you very much for that question. Everybody knows that Anambra State is in turmoil, and that we are having a serious security issue here in Anambra. As to whether the election will hold or not, election will be conducted. We've been assured by the security agencies that they will bring security personnel to make sure the election goes as planned. Some of the candidates will rather have this happen so that they will find a way of rigging the election. But that will not happen this time because the election will go as planned and it will be free and fair. We are a little bit anxious and nervous, but if the election is not conducted come next Saturday, there will be more problem in Anambra State than what is happening now. And we're also telling people part of the problem.
Well, I think we have lost connection.
Well, we work on that.
Yes.
Dr. Maduka.
Yes.
We were talking about the heavy police and security presence in Anambra. Was it a newspaper? What was the newspaper I read where people were saying that they're confident they will still come out regardless of the threat or regardless of the security apparatus in Anambra State? It appears that
there's still people who want to cast their vote regardless.
The big parties are encouraging their supporters to come out. And one of the leading candidates, Dr. Anambra of the APC, definitely, because this is an APC administration, is basically saying nothing will happen. Do come out, you will be protected. So there's a kind of reassurance to the people of Anambra State. The party of the sitting governor, APGA Abga, which has produced Dr. Soludo, is also saying that it doesn't matter what the federal government is saying. We will also ensure that nothing goes wrong, because I mean that's
in their interest,
absolutely to be to his credit if the election holds. I think that the election will hold, just like Dr. Maduka is saying, so that there won't be any excuses as to what happens, because we can't even afford the hiatus that will happen if Saturday election is either postponed or cancelled. And like Keke mentioned the other time, to allow non-state actors to get away with this sort of fear that they are giving, that people shouldn't come out, there should be a sit at home, etc. That would be a dangerous precedent, if we allow that to happen. So, on the one hand, the federal government and the Inspector General of Police, and on the other hand, the Anambrans themselves, must ensure that the election holds, so that, and Anambra is a big economy.
Yeah, and these non-state actors we're talking about, it's just a group of people, and they cannot in any way overwhelm, the security. That's what it
powerful group of people, no doubt, given what they have gotten away with, but then we cannot, we cannot allow that they proceed with that thing.
Well, it appears that we have
Dr. Maduka back.
Dr. Maduka back with us. Well, thank you for staying with us, Dr. Maduka. I wanted to ask you, you are with the Accord Party now. How confident are you that your party will clinch a ticket over, let's say, the People's Democratic Party, whose standard bearer is Valentine Ozigbo? Senate Minority Leader Hinaya Abaribe, obviously from the PDP, said yesterday that the PDP is the only vehicle that can take Nigeria to the desired Igbo presidency. It's quite a topical issue now.
Well, let me go straight to the point. Anambra State are sick and tired of the three major parties, APOGA, PDP, APC. This is the first time in the history of Anambra State that people are coming out to vote for individuals instead of the party. I could have taken any party in the whole Nigeria and still be the next governor of Anambra State. The polls are going everywhere. I am the desired candidate. I am the answer to what is happening in Anambra today. You understand? In terms of the insecurity and the economic collapse. And people are suffering. So the election, as you said, it will be conducted. And it will be fair, and it will be a fair election. And because of my antecedents, what I have done over 30 years in Anambra State, investing more than $500 million into the state, doing different things. I have been acting as a governor before I even decided to run. How would I even know that I would run for the governorship of Anambra State? That has never been my aspiration. But when you see things going so bad, and grown men and women behaving badly, and our children do not have a mentor or role model to look up to, because the people they're supposed to look up to are not doing what they're supposed to do. A lot of children and the men and women are unemployed. You wonder why they stick to the gun instead of to the employment. So, as far as I'm concerned, everybody in the security agency will do whatever they have to do to conduct the election. So I take the mantle of leadership in Anambra State.
Well, I am quite impressed.
So that these things will be over.
Go ahead. Please land on your thought, on your.
You say.
Land, please do land on your sentence. You're saying. Well, I was going to ask you actually. I am quite impressed that you have just said that you have invested over $500 million into Anambra. I have read some of your campaign promises, and I see that you have said that you want to. If you were to clinch the ticket and if you were elected, you will actually turn Anambra State into Dubai, correct? Talk to us about that.
Well, you see, I have lived in the U.S. for 40 years, and I've been coming home for 30 years. I've been around all over the world. I am a triple professor. I'm a Harvard graduate, so I know how the rest of the world thinks. After finishing and building about 6 hospitals in America, having a very lucrative medical practice, and still be in the academia, I've been coming home and see what is happening. Yes, I invested a whole lot of money in the form of philanthropy in Anambra State. And most of that have gone into building my city, where I built the tallest medical research building in the whole of Africa. Is the skyscraper of Southeast and South-South. And when you come to the city that we built and named, you will see that everything that modern cities all over the world modern cities have, we have it in Omochukwu. So I'm going to extend that to the rest of Anambra State. I built a city to look like a state. I'm going to build Anambra State to look like a country. When you come to Oka territory, which is our capital, nobody have to tell you whether this is a capital or not. Because what has been happening is these people, when they get elected, they take the resources that we need and take it to their home and develop their hometowns. And we come over here, we have a problem in Oka where there is no amenities to talk about. So that's what I was talking, that our beauty Dubai is an evidence that anybody can come to Umuchukwu and see whatever Dubai have, we have it. I mean, from security issues to hospitals, to schools, to road and bridges, to social welfare, building over 100 homes for widows, and making sure that 82% of the people that are graduates in my town being given scholarships. You understand? So I keep telling people, this is what I'm going to do in Anambra. Since our people that have been elected to become governors decided not to take everybody along.
You know, I'm glad in every city, Dr. Maduka.
You go to.
I am glad that you mentioned that, because I know that just recently there were concerns that you may not be able to run after all because of concerns as it pertains to your running mate and what political party he was affiliated with. I mean, can you give us a bit of an update on that situation? Are you still, in fact, intending to run? Will you be able to do so next week?
Yes, my candidature is intact. That's the reason why we have electoral laws, okay? That's, if you decide that you're not comfortable to run under one party, well, you were given enough window to make that decision. 4 to 5 days to election, you can have to do that. But not about 2 weeks or 3 weeks to election, that doesn't happen. But that actually is coming from the opponents. I'll beat them all. They haven't done anything to talk about. The man that is working under APC is not qualified to run. He doesn't know what governance is. We send him to Senate, he go over there and sleep. Never done anything in the senatorial zone where he was elected. All he does now, he go to people, different parties and try to get people to the camp with the right amount of money. Now, if the sitting governor of Anambra State, he went to him and took his deputy. He went to another AAC and went and took their deputy. And he come to accord and tried to take my deputy. Well, my message to him is that it's not possible. It's too late for you. We're going to win the governorship of Anambra State. The deputy's candidature is legally bound to accord until November 6. So we're not here to tell my deputy what to do. As far as I'm concerned, he's okay. You understand? We haven't have a situation where we have altercation or problem. But all this is a political mandate. So having said that, you're looking at the next governor of Anambra State, because in every area of governance, in every area of what people need to do for their people, I have got it. Now, if you look at when coronavirus hit Anambra State, I was the first one that supplied the food and PPEs and palliative to 183 communities in Anambra State. I've been coming home for that many years. I told them I will build 21 satellite campus using one of the university here and modernize it and make it look like the world standard so that people will have access to education. I have told them I'm going to reverse medical tourism. I'm one of the top doctors in the world in what I do. By the way, I'm #1 pen doctor in the world at one point or the other. So running 6 hospitals in America.
Dr. Maduka, sorry to interrupt your thought, but I wanted to, also redirect the interview so that we know clearly the plans that you have for Anambra. You know that the election in Anambra is almost like war, and everything is fair in the war situation. So when you say that the candidate of another party is moving around trying to snatch people, I guess that's politics. It's allowed. If you're able to woo people over, maybe that's an advantage. But that's not where I'm going. My point is, you mentioned the fact that it is individuals, it is personalities that will win this election. But interestingly, we know what the 3 big candidates stand for. Soludo and Ozigbo, Valentine Ozigbo of PDP, and Anambra, for example. There seems to be an economic blueprint that they have presented to the people of Anambra. Andy Uba of APC is also, talking about re-engineering the political structure of the state. Not far away, even though he's been campaigning in Lagos, Ifeanyi Uba, is also saying what he would like to do for Anambra. For your own case, given the fact that the ruling party, ABGA, is still considered as Ojukwu's party, what are you telling Anambrans differently? And if you have to drill down to 2 or 3 points, what would those be now that the election is almost here? 3 key things that you think would change the narrative for this election.
Okay. Let me make it categorically clear. The people of Anambra State are quite aware of Dr. Maduka. Now, Ozibo, Valo Ozibo have nothing to present to Anambra, and Soludo have nothing to present to Anambra. I am one guy that for the past 3 decades have been showing to Anambra what a man can do. They do an economic blueprint. This is not theory. We're talking about practical. I'll beat both of them in economic growth of Anambra State. I built $1 billion franchise in medicine, hospitals in US. I have, like I said, done this here in the form of philanthropy in Anambra. These people are politicians. That's all they do. They don't understand what the people need. So what will differentiate me from them is the fact that I have done this many times. I know how to increase the funding. 50% of what I'm going to use for Anambra State will be 50% of the money that we need to build Anambra is come from foreign investments. Okay, that's where I stand. In the area of, let me just go straight to the point. In medicine, I built hospitals here. I'm building the tallest medical research in the whole of Africa. I will reverse medical tourism. In the area of education, I have said that nobody should pay elementary and secondary school fees, and I will also build 21 satellite campuses. Everybody know about that. I also said in my first 6 months, I'm going to do what they call this local government chairmanship election, which they haven't been doing. I also told in that number, you don't have to pay me. I will be here to work for you. I'm not here for money or fame or power. So I will bring ICT to our people here. I'm also a pharmacist. I will build the factories that produce medications that people will have unadulterated medications. Our people are dying. So most of this thing I'm doing is qualifying me better than Aval or Zibo or Soludo.
And I'm sure that many people in your camp are staunchly behind you. However, if we look at the topic of conversation today, which is insecurity, talk to us about, if you were to obtain that office, how you are going to tackle those challenges, or do you think those challenges go away in the aftermath of the election? Especially the
IPOB challenge, which is not likely to disappear so soon. The IPOB challenge will still be there for whoever becomes the governor on Saturday. How will you tackle that?
Okay, thank you. I've said this from the beginning of the interview. 50% of the problem of insecurity is a failure of governance. If you're given the power and given the authority to govern your state, you have assumed the father of that state. Problem we have here is we have problem with godfatherism, where people choose anybody they want, who doesn't even belong here and don't know what to do, and they will go and make them the governor. You understand? So, as soon as I become the governor of Anambra State, we will go ahead and be, as soon as there's a gunshot going out, but I will continue with this so that you know that we're in a war zone in Anambra. The moment I become the governor of Anambra State,
background there. It does
no,
sound.
It did say that there are gunshots. Dr. Maduka has just confirmed.
There's gun going out. So
right
that
now.
you all know. Yeah, there's gun going on, but we are safe.
Which part of the city are you?
Let me
Dr.
say
Maduka?
something,
so that we have a fair idea of what's going on.
Well, I cannot tell you that in the TV for security reason. But let me just go ahead and answer the security question. I am the only candidate that, if elected into power,
where you are,
and into,
are you safe, Dr.
will
Maduka?
solve the problem of insecurity in Anambra State.
Well, how do you intend to do that? Because as it appears, where you're sitting, there are gunshots.
Exactly.
We're hearing.
Ironically, why we're talking about
security.
Because it does appear that you've been talking about infrastructure and all of that. We just want to know how you intend to tackle that.
Yes, but the reason that is happening is because I'm not the governor yet. The moment I have become the governor, this will stop. And let me tell you how I'm going to do that.
Yes.
Immediately, I will start fortifying all. Our security forces and both the infrastructure. You can't just go and light a kerosene on a police station and it burn down. Understand? We will provide them with everything they need to defend themselves. We will go ahead and feed and make sure that we pay them well so that they can be able to be ready to fight if needed. But the main thing that I will do is I'm also going to reach out to unknown gunmen, IPOB, whoever. And there's some people parading themselves and doing this. They don't belong to either of these two. So we have courts all over Anambra, but even we have some political opponents that are paying some thugs to cause instability in Anambra so they can come into power. Now, the only candidate that will be elected as a governor and that will be able to quell this is me. These people know that I have been contributing to the youths. So when I give the youths employment, they will also won't be brought into this insecurity problem. Now, for example, if you give a youth employment after doing their NYSC and they're ready to work, they won't go. If you give them a gun and you give them employment, they will take employment because they're not even proud of that. But they're angry with us. They're angry with the leaders. They're angry with the people that are supposed to be ruling them. So if you give, I will create a massive employment. I have created that already. I've employed over 1,000 youths in Anambra State from all the stuff I've been doing here in every area of mankind. So that's how I'm going to solve this insecurity. I'm going to fortify the police, fortify the civil defense, fortify the army. You understand? We'll be self-sufficient on that. And I will also make sure that state government pay them well because they're dying every day. And then I will turn around and have a dialogue with all the warring, all the people that we're blaming. Because nobody is 100% sure. IPOB will tell you we're not involved in the killing. Then you have unknown gunmen. They are not unknown. But I will know who they are and I will talk to them. I will beg them that we need to change this. And I will probably look into their demand.
Right, correct. That was my question. Are you saying that you're willing to engage with IPOB if you become the governor of Anambra State? And I wanted you to really talk about the threat that was issued by IPOB. Now they have used the unconditional release of Nnamdi Kanu as a bargaining chip. I just wanted your thoughts on that.
Well, everybody should find out, why do we have IPOB? Why do we have Boko Haram? Why do we have different people? Okay? If you don't talk to them, you wouldn't know what they want. I will figure out how to talk to them. I will talk to them, to IPOB. They're my brothers and sisters. And they know I mean well. I will talk to them. Maybe between me and them will come out at a compromise where they can at least help us not lose lives, because it will be counterproductive. So what I'm telling you categorically today, as soon as I become the governor of Anambra State, I'm going to look for them. I'm going to talk to them. There's nothing wrong with that. You understand?
All right.
It won't even
All
be
right, Dr.
messing up
Maduka.
with the national security.
Okay, Dr. Maduka, we've just got about 2.5 minutes to go, but we're slightly worried that even up till now, we're still hearing gunshots in the background. And we're wondering, do you have a context to these gunshots? Because I can see, your eyes dashing left and right. Has something been happening that looks like it will compromise security? And what are your thoughts? I mean, this can be random. The sort of gunshots that we just had, is scary. And we're worried even about your own safety. Do you have a context to what is going on out there?
Well, it's almost like a war zone in Anambra. But that tells you that the federal government, I can tell you, are not keeping a blind eye to this. I can tell you that leading to the election, which must go on, they're going to provide, and some of them have started arriving, they're going to provide the security. I have called on local communities, from vigilante groups to everybody, to man their own cities, because I'm going to be the next governor of Anambra State. For that reason, it is important for me for this election to go on. So the federal government have given us a listening ear, and they're coming down to help us. Until then, we still have to be cautious until the election day. And upon I imagine as a governor of Anambra State, the will of the people will be done. Ibere TV just conducted a poll where I made it close to 500,000, and the distant future, the distant from me, is Oluda 100, and the other people 20s. So you can see, I am the grassroots man. I'm the man for the youth, and I will make sure that nobody will take their future away from them. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Maduka. But we do hope that maybe it is not your own, maybe security that are trying to ward off an attack or anything like that, because you didn't quite address this issue of gunshot. But we understand that you are safe. At least you were able to speak to us. And the reassurance is also good for Saturday that what come may, the election will hold. So we thank you very much, and we wish you the very best in the election.
Stay safe.
Stay safe, Dr. Maduka. All right?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, my people. Thank you very much.